An official Rec Room collaboration with Mr. Beast, custom shirts are finally here, and Rec Room's 6th birthday. Hello everybody, I'm BillehBawb from BVR, and welcome back to Rec Room Roundup, where we take a look at the latest in Rec Room news and updates. Let's start out by taking a look at the game updates we've got since the last episode. First up here is the photo roll. This is a new button on the share camera that allows you to press it and scroll through your past images on RecNet. Now, this is actually a really exciting update because it was promised to us months and months ago in an AMA, and I covered it on this channel, and in that AMA, Gribbly said it'd probably come out in like 2 weeks, and ever since then, I've heard people asking in more AMAs in my comments section on the Discord when this feature is coming. So it's finally here, and you can finally look at and print back out pictures that you've taken in the past. There is a bit of a catch though. This is currently one of the split tests that Rec Room has been doing recently. A split test is basically when they give a feature to a small percentage of players so they can fix bugs and improve it before giving it to everybody. So right now, only a small percentage of players actually have access to this feature, but it'll come out eventually. Speaking of a small percentage, did you know that only a small percentage of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed? While I'm promoting stuff real quick, in Rec Room, you should use my code. Go to your watch, go to the play menu, click on the enter code button right here, and type in BVRR. And then whenever you make a purchase in Rec Room, you'll be supporting me. It helps me out a ton, and it's completely free for you. Thank you. The next major addition that we got is the magic marker. This is something the art community has been asking for a really long time. It's basically a marker that you can look at the surface of it, kind of like a maker pen, and you can select and change what color it is, which, as I'm sure you can guess, makes it a lot easier to draw. Previously, to have all the different marker colors, you would need maker pen access so that you could manually recolor the markers. So in art rooms like Val Art Academy, where not everyone would have access to maker pen, they'd have to have an entire table laid out of every single color so people could use these colors, obviously. But now they'll just be able to have way less magic markers laid out so people can select their own colors, which not only makes drawing faster, but also frees up a ton of ink in the room. In the future, it's been stated that maybe they'd also like to add an undo button to this marker, so if you make a stroke that you didn't mean to do, you can fix it. And who knows, maybe even in the future, we'll get layers on art canvases that you can control through this menu. Next up, they added some construction gizmos to the maker pen, and these are just funky little props you can use to measure stuff. There's a ruler, a protractor, and a unit cube. In Rec Room circuits, distance is measured in meters, and before it was kind of hard to tell exactly how much a meter was in the world space. So these tools just make it way easier to measure angles in meters and exactly how big things are, and it makes it easier to do precise values in your circuits. And they also just kind of look funky. I mean, hey, if you want to do your math homework in Rec Room with your friggin' Rec Room protractor, now you can. Maker pen wise, they've also added the dome light, which is a new lighting thing, kind of like the spotlight or point light, except it has way more options and a different shape, and you can do some really cool effects with this dome light. The final update I'm going to talk about is, of course, custom shirts. I talked about this in my last episode of Rec Room Roundup, and basically nothing has changed since then. You can go to your backpack and spawn in this whiteboard that allows you to draw in this picture of a shirt, and then it reflects in the actual 3D model. While this feature is pretty cool and they have obvious plans to expand on it in the future, in its current state, it feels kind of unfinished. The first major complaint people have is that you need to have Rec Room Plus to do this, but honestly, that isn't super surprising to me because the ultimate end goal with these shirts is to be able to sell them so other people can buy them, and with every system in Rec Room that involves selling, like selling inventions or selling keys in rooms, you need to have Rec Room Plus to do that. So honestly, I think people should calm down about that a little bit. Once you're able to actually sell shirts, then people who don't have Rec Room Plus will be able to buy them and get whatever shirt they want. The second issue is, as I just said, you actually aren't able to sell these shirts yet. You can only wear ones that you made. They're supposedly going to be adding selling and buying shirts in the next few weeks, but honestly, it feels really weird to have this custom shirts feature without being able to actually share them with anybody else right now. The next issue is that there's currently only one shirt model you can draw on, and it looks really basic. Again, later on, they're going to add more models you can draw on, like the tucked-in shirt or hoodies, but you know, once again, it feels just weird and unfinished to not have these yet. And finally, the feature just doesn't feel that great to use. You'll often grab the whiteboard when you'd mean to just grab a marker. You have to like spawn in your own markers to do it. You can only make custom shirts in your dorm. You can't use your maker pen to scale up or adjust the whiteboard at all. Also, why is it a whiteboard? Who would want to grab and move their thing around? Why can't we choose for it to be a canvas? So in however many months when all these problems are fixed, I'm sure this feature will be great. Right now, it's already pretty great, but it just feels kind of unfinished, but you know, it'll get there. That's all the updates since the last episode that I felt like were worth talking about. It's been kinda slow, but there was still some pretty cool stuff. Alright, let's start talking about some events. First up is the Ethan Bortnick prom event, which happened a while ago, so I'm gonna keep it short. Basically, this music artist named Ethan Bortnick, who I think is popular on TikTok, had an official broadcasted event in Rec Room where they basically played his music in this, like, prom room. The room went up to space, and it went out into the ocean, and it was pretty friggin' cool because all the stuff was synced with the music. There were some technical issues with the broadcast, like not being able to join or being laggy or some of the effects not working, but the actual room itself was cool. The technical issues are just kind of inevitable with events this big. There was also a collab with Mr. Beast in Rec Room. Overall, it was pretty small. Players who joined the Rec Center during a specific week would get this Mr. Beast t-shirt, and obviously on the Mr. Beast Gaming channel, they had a video with an ad in it for Rec Room, which I'm sure brought a ton of new players in. And that was basically it. Pretty small stuff, but also it was basically just a sponsorship with a shirt, so what do you expect? Next up, let's talk about an update that's coming to Rec Room's screen mode controls. There was this whole developer blog they wrote about simplifying screen mode's controls, and there's a bunch of information in there. So if you want to check that out, then you can click the link in the description. But overall simplified, they're basically changing Rec Room to control more like a standard first-person game. So you're going to interact with stuff by pressing E, and you're only going to have full control over one of your hands and all that stuff that you'd expect from like a first-person shooter game or something. You will still be able to pick up stuff in your offhand, but only if you're already holding something in your main hand. And once this update comes out, they're going to be slowly transitioning all of the screen mode players from the legacy controls over to the new controls until everybody has it and is using it. Honestly, I think this is a really good update. The current screen mode controls are kind of insane and super complicated, so it'll be good for new players to have simpler controls to get into things, even if that means we might lose like easy access to some functionality. But honestly, who needs full control over both of their hands at the same time anyways? In other news, it's Pride Month, and as they do every year, Rec Room released some new Pride striped flag hoodies. There's a bunch of new ones, including aromantic and gender fluid and all that nice stuff. You can get them from going to this Pride Month room that they created, which actually is super high quality and looks awesome. The old Pride Fest room from like 2018 was cool, I guess, but also it was starting to look really outdated, so it's good that they made this new one. So happy Pride Month, everybody. First, you get some hoodies in Rec Room. Hopefully next, you get rights. Next up, it's Rec Room's 6th birthday, and as they do every year, they have a brand new room out to celebrate. This room has a store with some cool rainbow-colored items in it, and it also has a brand new consumable, cake pops. I don't know about you, but I love me some cake pops. I don't know why they're square. This isn't Minecraft, but they still have the same delicious cakey inside, so I can't complain. There was just a new 2D art contest announced with the theme sports, and because custom shirts just released, there's actually a new category in the art contest about custom shirts. It's really good they're continuing to bring back the 2D art contests. You can check out the link in the description for more information on that if you want to participate, but I can't wait to be absolutely stunned by everybody's entries. The roomies for the summer camp contest also happened, which means that contest is now over. I didn't make a room for this contest personally, but big congratulations to all of the winners and people who placed. Here's a big list that you might have seen scrolling down your screen. I don't know, kind of hard to miss. Honestly, there was a lot of drama and issues with this contest that I don't really want to get into because it's all over now and I don't want to spark up stuff that's already over. But pretty much everyone agrees that the judging system is flawed and needs some changes. So the Rec Room teams announced that they're going to be taking a break off of contests for the next few months over the summer to rework things and how contests work. And then hopefully around the end of summer, they'll have a new contest with some new rules and judging stuff, and it'll all be great. That's it for events. Here is this week's weekly rotation of items. And this week actually has our very first buggy skin for the Rec Rally buggy. Not gonna lie, it's kind of boring. It's just this really basic shade of blue with a bunch of stickers on it, but the golden ends are pretty cool, I guess. It's a good first start. We'll see what skins we get after this one. If you want to watch a video where I complain for 8 minutes about how bad Rec Room's leveling system is, then click here. I spent quite a bit of time on that, but otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.